Hello, hello, and good morning. We are here together today, and I want you to know it's kind of a secret, but I'm telling you first that my second book is now released, and it's in the process of being released in paperback too on Amazon. So I have the link to go and grab your copy because next week we're going to be starting a book club. So this book is called The Art of Returning to Love: How to Show Fear and Stress the Exit and Heal. And the reason it's so important is because no matter your spiritual path or whatever religious affiliation or philosophical path that you're walking, or maybe nature is your source of life. Maybe you refer to the all that is as the universe, but it's a core foundational piece, and our muscle in all of humanity it needs strengthening around this. So it's non-denominational. It doesn't really matter. It will strengthen whatever path you currently walk. But most people don't realize the degree to which they need this muscle strengthened, right? No matter whether you feel like you already have a good connection to the source of life, or that you're trying to figure that out, and everything in between. It can always use extra strengthening. And the reason we know that is because the state of the world reflects the strength of this connection. And so we're at a pivotal point, you might have noticed, where we're being called to this, and we're being called to it in the most strong way ever in human history. And so we must answer that call, and I know how to do that. And that's what this book is setting forth for you. It's very practical. It explains things. I mean, women say things like, the early readers were saying things like, "Oh my gosh, finally someone has explained to me what this means and how to do it." It's a very how-to guide as well. It gives you practical ways to do this throughout your days. So thank you for being here. If we've not yet met, I'm Laurie Morris, a 30-year practitioner of Chinese medicine and the director of the Sacred Health Academy, where we teach women who want to get her health back, has tried everything, knows she needs to include her sacred self, but doesn't quite know how to do that, all without overwhelm. It's an online educational journey. You take at your own pace. I mean, we all want to live with a calm mind, energy in our body, peace in our hearts, and ways to contribute to a better world. And the books that I've written, this is my second book, are sort of like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're guides on how to do that, right? So we all need to reach outside of ourselves and figure out how to be who we truly are in this life together in community, in order to influence tipping the scales into the shift of the ages um, that is devoted to living in love. Now, I know that sounds a bit fantastical to some people, but considering every particle of life is the frequency of love. Gratitude's right there, right? So it's right, neck and neck with love. So if love kind of thing feels like a bit too romantic for you, I'm not actually talking about romance love, or that fantastical love. I'm talking about a very practical way of accessing an energy that resides in every cell of your being and living in that force of life. And that is where we find our true worth, our true value, our sense of being enough, our courage, our strength, our steps, our our knowing of what our piece of the puzzle is here on earth. Everything else that we do outside, we're looking for that, and we actually have ways of accessing it in our own cellular intelligence, in our own heart space, which is, by the way, a sacred portal to all these goods that I'm talking about. And when we do this, we start to train our mind that this is actually a reality and a truth that is accessible. It's within reach. Whereas when we only operate from our lower human mind, it all feels very out of reach and very fantastical and very scary and very unreachable, right? So the book, The Art of Returning to Love, just kind of lays it out in easy to understand ways. And so I want to invite you and encourage you and hopefully inspire you to go grab this book. I'll tell you another secret. I'm not sure if this part got cut off when I first started the video. When I clicked the button, I was saying, I'm telling you a secret. You're the first to know that this book is now released. Well, you're also going to be the first to know that over Black Friday, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the book will be available for free, the ebook version, the Kindle version. And so you can grab it for free. You can give it as gifts to your friends and family and those you care about. I suggest that you do, because honestly, the more of us who are having this conversation, the faster we will tip the scales. The scales will tip in favor of the vibration of love. That's not, the question is not if, the question is when. So the more of us who gather this momentum and start walking this path together, the faster it gets to happen, right? The more we get to sort of override and heal the chaos that we look out into every day. It's really important that we shift our focus to include this even as we watch the chaotic happenings and the world happenings. If we don't include this, we will stay mired in the chaos. That is just a law of life. It's a law of energy. So it's vital that you find the tools. And yes, my book is a tool, but if it doesn't resonate with you, go find another tool. Go find another person to listen to. But my request of you is that you find the tools that work for you. I do believe that my book is a good tool, so at least give it a try, especially if you don't have to pay anything, if you get it in that 72-hour window where it's going to be complimentary, right? And, I've over my 40 years of walking this path, I've learned that I layer tools with each other because, then I realized that, oh, this is actually true. This, I don't know, this is the cynical part of my mind that needs to hear some things, not everything, because sometimes things just resonate very clearly in my heart and it's like, that's it. That is true, and I'm going to live with that truth. I'm going to teach myself that truth so I own it. But sometimes I need to layer things. So grab the book. We're going to start reading it together next week. And we're going to walk ourselves. There's this cool thing that I have a visual of where I walk myself and others, because I work with a lot of people, right? I walk myself and others over the rainbow bridge of transformation and into the arms of love, swiftly as possible. So we're in a phase of the transformation within humanity where things are happening faster. You've probably noticed, 10, 20, 30 years ago, things would happen a lot slower. That's not the case anymore. So being aligned with your source of life is really important now. And you might already be tending this, and maybe you're not sure how to do it, but no matter where you live on that spectrum, there's always more strengthening to be had, more elevation or evolution or evolving into yourself that there is available. So the key is to not stop. And here's the thing. There's two things more I want to tell you. I have a whole, in the Sacred Health Academy, we have this phases of allowing and accepting our birthright of sacred health, because make no mistake, it is a birthright. You have an inalienable and innate birthright to be whole and healthy. You already are that. Things have gotten maybe a little cross-wired, but that is repairable and renewable, and that's what the Sacred Health Academy is devoted to. But one of the first phases is going from being unaware to being aware that you actually have this birthright, and that you have to give yourself permission to understand it and discover it and unfold into it. That's really important. We have to give ourselves this permission because we've been so habituated, so programmed, so trained. We have patterns and constructs that we don't give ourselves permission to actually access this innate, inalienable right, this birthright that we have. not only do we have it, it's not just this sort of nebulous idea. It is a blueprint in every one of your 70 trillion cells. So it lives in you, right? It's not unreachable. It is so accessible. The key is understanding how to do that, right? So there was another thing I was going to say, and it just jumped out of my head. The one thing was that inalienable birthright. Well, anyway, I hope it's a funny thing. I'll just say this last thing. What's funny is that our lower human mind hears these concepts and these invitations and thinks, yeah, I've done that before. I've already tried. It doesn't work. I already know, that path or that road. And I just want to encourage you to reconsider that no matter how many times you try again, you will find the right combination lock for yourself if you just don't give up. So just try again, because, I know what I was going to say. And this is what I will end on after, encouraging you to get this book for yourself so we can all increase and have a much more powerful conversation. But our prime directive as a human being, beyond propagating this species and keeping the species going, our prime directive is to live in integrity with our higher self. And this is the muscle I am inviting you to build. And this is the devotion of this book. There are 3 volumes. There's 3 parts to this book, to the series. This is volume 1. It's a 3-book series, as far as I've been told, anyway. For my higher presence is definitely the director of all of this. I'm just the instrument. My higher presence is the orchestrator, or the conductor, of the orchestra. And so, if that's our prime directive, I would ask you, what are you doing to ensure the integrity, day in and day out, breath by breath, of this powerful connection that gives you a wisdom and an intelligence and an innate knowing on what actions to take, and a level of connection to love that you don't currently have. You must have tools. You must have the understanding and the awareness. We've got to get our mind on board. That's the hardest part of all of this. Otherwise, we could literally flip a switch and we'd be there. But our mind is the holdout, if you will. So if you don't have a very powerful plan on how to be living in this powerful alignment, this integrous alignment, then please grab the book for yourself and let us walk ourselves into this and build this muscle together. So on that happy note, I'll toast you with my cup of tea, and I will look forward to gathering with the reading of this book together. Okay, be well, grab the book, share it with those you care about. It's a brilliant message that I was only the instrument for, so that's why I can say it without, with some humility. But it is a message that every human being, all ears and every heart needs to hear. So much love.